Ever wonder what it's like to hit the open road, crossing country after country? Join me as I take you on a journey through Portugal, Spain, and eventually France. The plan for this trip was to drive from the northern side of Portugal into Spain, stay the night, then drive once more in the early morning, making it to France. Now, the reason this trip is important is due to a family member's birthday.
Salute, mi familia.
So I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride to feel what it's like to do a trip like this. Now, before hitting the road, we had to do some prep, meaning the night before we packed everything. Day 1. Day 1 started with us putting on the fit to feel comfortable and look good doing it, before heading into the car at 6:13 p.m. and starting our 6-hour drive into Leon, located in Spain. During the trip, we stopped off at a local supermarket where I picked up a Guapa energy drink. These things hit different. Then we continued driving until we hit the Spain sign, where we stopped off to take a photo and quickly went back to driving until we eventually hit the place where we were going to be staying at. We arrived at 1:31 a.m, but I still managed to give you guys a room tour to show you guys how lucky we were to stay here. Day 2. We woke up at 8:25 a.m. and got ready for the long drive ahead.
It's massive. And do you know what else is massive?
But to start the day, we roamed around the area to find a place to have some breakfast, and I have to say, this area was stunning. I took a couple photos just to show you guys how crazy it was. Like, look at this church. After exploring for a bit, we headed in to get some breakfast, where we ate some toast with some tomato and presunto, before hitting the road again at 10. We then stopped around 12 to stretch our legs and re-energize ourselves at the gas station, until driving once again where we saw awesome mountains and views, and at 4:42 we arrived at our first gate into crossing the country. Then our second gate, third gate, fourth gate, fifth gate, sixth gate, until we finally had arrived in France at 6:44 p.m. and headed straight to the surprise party, arriving at 7:30, staying all the way till 1:51 a.m. till we started our way home, which ultimately made me too tired to record a good night. So, moving on. Day 3. Day 3 started with me waking up at 10 a.m. and saying how we are staying at the cousin's crib, before hanging out with the cousins and making sure to insert my dominance.
Do you want to know what they wrote?
Big Smack Miko! Again!
After that, I went downstairs to eat lunch that contained some sushi and a bead salad type of thing that was really good, whilst also trying my first French baguette, which was really nice. We then headed to the center of town and the neighboring lake at 3:50 p.m. And let me tell you, this place was so nice. Like, it was crazy. We walked around for a bit before finding a dance group in the middle of the street and stopping to see how good they were before walking around and seeing what the area had to offer and what potential stores were around, which led me to grab some bubble tea. And for those wondering, it was mango with passion fruit pearls, the go-to god. Here are some photos of the area. I then entered JD Sport to see if they had anything that caught my eye. I was looking at some Jordan 4s, but ultimately not buying anything and walking out. The family went into a random store that reminds me of mine, if you don't know what that is, before heading to Macca's to get something to eat. And I was surprised to see like plastic tray, fry cups, and even drinking cups. After the feast, we continued exploring what was around until we stumbled upon this massive statue that looked insane. Fast forward a bit. We ended up at the front of some festival, however we didn't enter because we all just couldn't be bothered. So we began the hike back to the car, as it was already 8:20. Meaning, yes, we spent like 4 hours here. And then at 10:45, we headed to a Portuguese festival in France, where we saw traditional dancing and a lot of culture. We were there till about 2:30 a.m. before leaving and heading home, where yet again I forgot to record and passed out asleep. Day 4. Day 4 started with waking up around 11 a.m. and going straight into lunch. We had some prawns as an entree and followed by a barbecue with meat, rice and peas for the main course. After lunch and some time relaxing, we headed out to visit a very special beach. We began walking towards the beach and eventually reached the reason why it's so special.
Reached the infamous sand beach.
As you can see, there's a huge sand mountain. And of course, being the athlete I am, I had to climb it.
We climbing. I can make the quad. I got so much sand in my running.
The higher we got, the more incredible the view became. Once we reached the top, we stopped to take a family photo. While walking around, I noticed something quite unusual for a natural landscape.
There's a massive
At the top, I emptied my shoe to see how much sand had gotten in, and I made sure to do the same with the other foot once we were done to see the difference. On our way back, we decided to walk through the nearby streets to explore a bit more. We got back to the car around 6:40 PM and drove to a random suburb, as the cousins wanted to continue showing us around. While walking there, we stopped to grab a snack. I picked up a cookie, and it was amazing. Easily a 10 out of 10.
This thing right here is so good, bro. What the hell?
Around 8 PM, we headed back home. Once we arrived, I finally remembered to record some footage and went through my nightly routine and did a quick workout before bed to stay consistent. After finishing the workout, we got into bed and called it a night. Day 5. Day 5 started with waking up at 10:30 AM and straight away driving somewhere, where I had my first French croissant, and it was actually heavenly. We needed to walk a bit, and in the end we went to a construction site to say hello to a family member. Then to another family member's house. Once there, I refreshed myself with an Oasis. This drink is so good, can't even lie. And then after that, we hit the road again to visit another family member. If you can't tell, I have a big family. Let's skip to lunch at 2 PM, where we had spaghetti, beef patties, and mango, and it low-key slapped. After lunch, we went to a local shopping centre, but first, fit check. We arrived at the centre at 3 PM and walked around. I saw a bunch of familiar shops, and I immediately had to head over to JD Sports and check out the shoes. Then I went to a store called Zing, which I thought was only an Australian store, but apparently it's also in France. For my Australian audience, you know how good Zing is. After Zing, we hit up Primark and Jules, where my boy copped some clean clothes. We in the change rooms.
Alright, so we be buying some clothes out in France. This clothes is dope. So we bought some clothes out here in France. First we got
this LA hoodie. Lakers, bro. It's actually so green, bro. It's got like LA, or like the L on the sleeves. I think it might have the, no, it doesn't have the L on the L, but the back as well. Let me flip this shit around. Like, bro, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it says Los Angeles Lakers, an American professional basketball team based in LA, and it just looks clean, bro. Like, look at that. So yeah, I got this jumper. Which is pretty cool. Another cool thing they do in France is they give you the flipping coat hanger, so I don't have to go out and buy some coat hanger, which is sick. Then I got this Evolution t-shirt. So it says Evolution with like some nice ass, I don't want to get them wrong, so I'm not going to say it, but actually there might be roses, I don't fucking know. Right? Nice ass, like washed out charcoal grey Evolution t-shirt, and then the back is like that. I don't know, I reckon it's pretty clean, I'm gonna be for really, I think it's dope. Next we got these jeans. Had to get some like opium type shit. Yeah, so there's these jeans. They're pretty nice. They got a nice like look to me. They make me look taller. Always a plus. I got some socks. Just some basic socks. This kind of matches the Evolution tee. Normally just some white socks to wear with Air Forces. And then to finish it all off, I got these denim jorts, ripped type of shorts, which are nice, bro. They're actually clean. Yeah, that's what I bought. Gang, 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 gang.
Then we went into a huge supermarket that had lobsters and even a sushi restaurant. Crazy.
A literal sushi restaurant, bro. In this fucking shop, in this supermarket.
I picked up some deodorants and shampoo to stay fresh. We started walking back to the car, just taking in how pretty the area was, where I even got to capture a Pikachu with black ears. If you know, you know. At 11:20 PM, we began the night routine once again and fell asleep. Day 6. Day 6 started with us waking up. Shocker, I know. At 11:40 AM. Bro, I'm actually such a bum.
And awake.
I immediately freshened up and headed downstairs to see what was popping. Then I filmed the clothes that I bought. We headed down again to eat and get the day started. We had banging sandwiches with ham, avo, mozzarella cheese, rocket, and mayo in a French baguette. And dude, it was so good. I actually like just out with it. Then I went to grab a drink and found this tiny can of iced tea, like 150 milliliters. I didn't know if that's common worldwide, but where I'm from, that just doesn't exist. Anyway, after that, my cousin and I needed to install new brake pads because our car ones were cooked. Here's a little tutorial, I guess. Here's the comparison between the new and old disc brakes. You can see how cooked the pads were.
Mango Song
Inject the car.
Tutorial.
Bloody.
Then we just pop the wheel off.
Mango,
Connect the lights
mango,
up to the
mango,
safety brake pads and then try to pry them
mango,
off.
mango, mango, mango.
See? And then you just put the wheel the same way you took it off. Simples. Then you do the electronic brake. Undo. After we did both sides, we took it for a spin to make sure it was all okay. Then my cousin said my sister could drive. Just listen to my reaction. I'm fearing for my life. Alright, which one's which?
That's the brake, that's the accelerator.
Which side's the brake on?
This one.
The right.
Yeah, that left is accelerator.
Yeah.
Don't be smart with me because then, like, we're gonna have problems.
No, yeah, that's the accelerator. The accelerator's on the left.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can you promise?
See, that's like governmental. I don't fuck with the government right now. You know, I'm like tax
Okay, so you wanted us to die. So the big one's the brake.
No, I want us to not move.
I don't think the big one's the brake.
We're
That's-
fucking
that's not
screwed.
brake. That's not brake. That.
She low-key did better than I thought, but I still wasn't feeling safe. Where we were driving was so scenic, like I felt like I was in a movie. Then I drove home, and to end the day we played Spoons, a card reaction game. It's pretty fun with a lot of people. I should show them the video! After that, I went to bed and forgot to record again. Day 7. Day 7 started with breakfast at 9:30 a.m, rocking the new shorts and devouring croissants and an Oasis. At 11 a.m, the journey home began. The drive was going to take 9 hours. We started off just looking out the window. We stopped at 1:34 p.m. to eat some lunch. Then we were on the road again by 2. Some of these views were just too crazy not to share. We drove for like another 3 hours and finally stopped off at 4:50 p.m. We couldn't stay long, so we left after 20 minutes. I decided to film a time lapse, but I fell asleep for like 2 hours and woke up to still be driving. At 8:30 p.m, we made it into Portugal. Just another 2 hours to go. Finally, we reached home, and the first thing I did was greet my dog and do what everyone does when they get back from a long trip. Alright, it's tradition. Anytime you get home from a trip. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This video definitely took way too long, I just know it. It took 5 months. But yeah, like, subscribe, and I'm gonna sleep now. Good night.